Rodney, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. When did you start doing music?
So it started, my dad played gospel music. He directed choirs, and he was always around music. I was always too shy to actually get up and sing in front of people. Got in high school, and I met a girl, and her parents played all kinds of instruments. It was that backwood hillbilly family that plays every instrument, and you would literally hear people playing music on a front porch somewhere, show up, they'd hand you a guitar. And so when I went over to her house, they played music. Her little brother was like Roy Clark or something in the 6th grade. And they taught me my first guitar chords. They were a singing bunch. They could all sing and play. And I just started playing music then. I was kind of into writing. Like, I remember I really loved doing book reports and stuff in school. And then somewhere in there, this girl that gave me my first guitar just broke my heart, just shattered me. And it made me, A, want to write songs, and B, get out of that little town. It was all her. And that's really where I started playing music and writing songs. That's all I wanted to do was write songs. And when I got to Walter State, the junior college, the guys would like, bring your guitar on the bus. And so I would take it. We'd sit around and sing, but it was never me getting up in front of people and singing. It was just around friends. And that's how I kind of started playing, really.
I feel like Roy Clark's one of the greatest players of all time, and he doesn't get lumped in with the greatest of all time, probably because he was in country music.
I guess so. Yeah, he was just the next level Chet Atkins kind of a pick.
I feel like he's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And because country music hadn't spread as much as it has now into popular culture, he's often overlooked.
And he was Buck Owens' sidekick.
Yeah.
So Buck took that Buck Owens world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I remember just being in awe of that. And a lot of pickers, I think guitar players, see that.
Did you learn to play guitar, or did you play guitar enough so you could write? Because there's a difference. Are you a good guitar player?
Oh, no. I could just accompany myself. I just enough to really play along with this Dwight Yoakam song or what, to learn those songs as you hear them on the radio and stuff.
Do you play piano?
No.
Did you ever learn to play piano?
I did not. Wished I would have. I was that kid that my sister took piano. She did all that. But I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm playing sports. I don't want to play music. That didn't happen until later. I'd give anything if I would have now.
I feel the same way. I wish I would have been in band.
Yeah.
Because I played sports.
Exactly.
But I wish I would have just sucked it up and I wanted to play an instrument.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the reason, too, is financial. But still, there were ways to make it happen because there were ways to make other things happen. I wish I would have learned music in high school.
Our neighbor, the lady that lived near us, taught my sister piano. I could have just walked over there, but I'm not doing that. The band leader, you should join the band. I'm not playing in a band. I play sports. That's what I do.
You've talked about being adopted.
Mm-hmm.
When you say your dad, your adopted father.
Yeah.
So when did you learn you were adopted?
It's kind of a funny story. So after I had a few hits, and I got asked, it was probably the greatest honor of my adult life, to be the spokesperson for the National Council for Adoption. And that opened up these opportunities for me to talk about adoption a lot. And so I asked, did you ask me when did I learn I was adopted?
Yeah, when did you learn?
Oh, okay.
And then, no, but I want to hear the story, though. So when did you first know you were adopted? Were you always?
When I was a kid, my sister came up and said, "You're not really their kid. You're adopted." And so I went to my parents and asked them. I mean, I was like 5. And it's funny now, but they told me the whole story, and that I was put up for adoption, and then this children's home took me in, and Holston Home for Children, still do a lot of stuff with them. And evidently my parents had lost a child that had a respiratory staph infection, I think is what it was. He only lived a couple of weeks. Well, after they went through that, they applied to adopt. And I was adopted by another couple. And then I was taken back because I had the same thing to just lesser degree of what their child had. And they kept trying to apply to adopt. So I was adopted like 2 or 3 times and returned to the orphanage.
As a baby?
Yeah.
So you have no memory of this?
Lord, no. And so that is kind of how I wound up with them. And so they told me the whole story. And
I've had trouble trying to figure out who's like my grandparents are, my great-grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
So my dad left when I was 5 or 6. I know my mom, but she was an addict. She died in her 40s. But my grandmother adopted me for a big part of my life. And which I found like a social security card with a different name on it. Like that's how I found out.
Wow.
And it wasn't the same story because my parents were still alive. They were
Sure.
just not with me. My grandmother had to take over guardianship. And I found out because I literally saw a social security card with a different last name. And I was like, what is this?
Wow.
And it was like, well, you've been adopted. That whole story, right? But because my grandmother's husband, that would be my grandpa, died before I was born, and my grandmother on my dad's side, I didn't know my dad, so I didn't know her. I didn't know anything. I don't know any family history of like medical. They're like, hey, what's your family history? I don't know. Like, that's a struggle.
Yeah. I went down that road for quite a while, and you start thinking about that kind of stuff. Because you just don't know where you come from. My wife actually back when I finally met my birth mom, because you don't.
You met her?
Yeah. Close to her. She's amazing.
You have a relationship now with her?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She lives in Knoxville. Sweetheart. Found out I have a little brother. Lives down in Texas. And it's great. Now, my birth father, I found out who he was, but dude, he had a crazy past on him. So I never made that happen. It just didn't seem like the right thing to do.
He's still alive?
No.
Did you ever have the opportunity to meet him?
Probably. So I found out. So the reason I even found who my birth mom was, when I did this stuff for the National Council for Adoption, I was doing these interviews, and it was like guideposts and just a lot of stuff talking about adoption. And in those interviews, those stories would get out there, and people started showing up at my shows with like Ziploc baggies with hair in it. Wanted me to run some kind of CSI analysis to prove they're my cousin, uncle, brother, sister.
No way.
Like crazy. I mean, crazy. And
were they being honest with themselves, or was it kind of a grift?
I have no idea. I'm sure both. But a lot of them were convinced, man, that I'm your cousin, uncle.
Well, that's just being in the South to me. Like everybody in Arkansas I'm related to, it feels like.
Uncle Daddy.
That's crazy.
And so in that, I got to figure this out. I need to nail down actually where I'm from. So we hired, I guess it was an attorney that kind of tracked down people and could get into the records and see. So they contacted they asked me if I wanted to meet my birth mom. They showed me a picture of her. Said, yes, would love to. And then said, this is your dad, and this is his story. And in that, I found out that I have one brother on death row that I never met from my father.
So technically a half-brother.
Yes.
Different mom, got it.
And another one that was just in and out of jail, and I think my dad had been in and out of jail a lot. And it kind of hits you. You're just, man, I could have been that. That could have been the road I was on. So I'm very grateful. So I met my birth mom, and we got together and talked, and we're very close now.
That's really cool.
It is cool.
I have the same feeling of, man, what could have been if it wasn't for somebody stepping in, because my biological dad, I don't really call him a dad, but he's alive. And a lot of that family has spent time in prison. Some of them are. 2 of them still are.
That's
my mom and her sister married 2 brothers. So all my cousins are double cousins. I mean, it's as Arkansas as you could be. You know?
Exactly. Hillbilly, man.
Yeah. And I say that not in a way of
Sure.
making fun. Everybody's just close. Small town.
Yep.
Like 2 sisters married 2 brothers. But there's a whole part of the family that's been in a lot of trouble. And a lot of that just comes from circumstance, right? When there aren't a lot of options.
That's it. Yeah.
It's not bad people per se that's getting in trouble. It's people without a lot of options. And so when there aren't a lot of options presented to you, you pick the one that you think is the best for that time. And a lot of times it ends up in trouble. And for my family, sounds like much like yours that I'm not close to, they're in prison. Like many first cousins, parents, a lot of that
For sure.
happened. And I'm very grateful to my grandmother,
Absolutely.
who did not have to step in. and raised me and my sister for, years and years like a kid,
amazing.
like her own kid. And so I'm sure you have that feeling toward your parents now. Like, had they not taken care of you, that could have been you.
For sure. Yeah, the path I could have been on. And we didn't grow up with much, but it was, for the most part, very stable and very normal. So, yeah, I can't imagine what my life would have been like.
Yeah, consistency is such currency.
Yep.
That's what I feel now. I didn't have a bunch of it until I made it myself. Like, made and had the ability to have consistency. Now I live and thrive off of it, probably too much, because nothing feels secure unless it's consistent and constant and safe.
I get that. Yeah. And I grew up a lot with the adoption in the back of my head, still thinking that I was giving up. And I found out, this is a crazy thing to even process, but I was the product of a first date gone wrong.
How old were they? Do you know?
When
you were born?
Early 20s. I'm pretty sure my mom had a kind of crazy story. She was married before. It was an abusive situation. She got out of it and had a daughter. And then I came along on the bad date, and she wanted to hide me from her parents because she was divorced and just the whole...
There's all that shame attached to it.
Exactly. And so she hid me from her parents, and then I was born. She gave me up, and then she went on and got married, had a son. So you struggle with that, this self-worth, and you don't belong anywhere, and you don't think much of yourself, and you must not be worth much.
Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
My mom was 15 when she got pregnant.
Wow.
And my biological father was 17. And so it was, he left. So again, there's that. He just chose to leave when I was like 5. So there's that part of it. And I did have that, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of challenging your value within yourself. And then it turns into, I just had like crazy sympathy for like my mom. She was 15.
Yeah.
And then I just felt terrible for her. And you kind of just process until like a new emotion comes in. Like I've just sat on one. And I think my wife and I, we don't have kids yet. We'll have kids sometime soon. But I would hope, and what makes me so nervous about being a dad eventually is that I hopefully will not be like what I had happen to me. Did that happen with you at all before you were a dad? Did you worry about that? Hopefully I said that clear.
Yeah,
It makes me nervous because I don't want to be what was to me.
Exactly. And yeah, especially after I found out that these guys are on death row and stuff. Are you capable of that,
I think
of not showing up?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's driven me to not be that, to not even come close to that, just to be stable and consistent and to know you come to terms with unconditional love. I think that's...
What do you mean come to terms with it?
That the best you can do is believe it. Believe you are unconditionally loved. And I don't think I got that until I met my wife, Rose. And those voices in my head, I just quit listening to them and said, I'm just going to believe her. What she thinks of me, I'm going to believe that. And I became closer to God and really started thinking about if I want my kids to know the Father, I need to represent that in some form until they can figure it out for themselves. Just to be there, consistent and stable, and and really care. And by that I mean don't let them just do whatever. When you're trying to raise, I say I'm trying to raise men and not babies. And kind of all those things come into play of what you're representing for your kids. And that's all I think about. That's the main drive for me, period, every single day is that. And I don't know if that's me running away from what I don't want to be. It's just who I want to be, really. Years ago, man, this is kind of crazy. I don't know why you made me think of this. I was in Chicago, and I forgot about this. This is crazy. I was in Chicago visiting USN station, and they said, "Hey, there's a Chicago Bulls player that is a fan of you. Would you like to meet him?" I said, "Heck yeah!" And it was Jimmy Butler, and he came to the show that evening. He said, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "I just want to tell you something, and I want you to sit there and listen to me until I'm done." All right. And he said, "Your song, Watching You, I grew up without a dad. And when I heard that song, it really pissed me off that that's what it's supposed to be like, and I didn't have it." He said, "But that song got inside of me and made me realize what I would never be because I want to be like that song." And that song changed my life. It made me want to do better in school. It made me get my grades. It made me work harder at basketball. It shaped me by trying to not be who I was afraid I would be, which is my dad that he didn't know.
And when Jimmy Butler says sit and listen, I imagine you just sit and listen to
Absolutely.
whatever he's going to say.
Oh, he killed me. I was
Yeah.
crying.
I imagine that song resonates with a lot of people, and you probably feel it like if you're doing any sort of meet and greet, because that's when the fan has the opportunity to talk. Does that come up a lot? Like that song's affected me? Like, what are the common themes of how it's affected people?
Mostly that's me and my dad, recently it's been several stories of my dad has passed, and we played that song at his funeral. And it was just an important part of our life. It's me and my mom. It's me and my dad. Just over and over. That's the coolest thing in the world when somebody says one of your tunes is their song, when they take ownership of it. That's mostly what I get, is just say, that's our song. It's our song. If we hear it, we stop, we sing it.
Whenever you did 2.0, and
Yeah.
a lot of people message me going, "You got to talk to him about this song." Why did you choose now to do 2.0 version of that song?
2.0. For years, I didn't think Elijah, my son, was interested in singing at all. Again, he was shy like me. And then he had started, through the years, he would say, "Dad, you should sing this song or check this song out." And he would send me songs or play something for me. And then a year and a half ago or something, he sent me a tune, and I'm like, "This is cool, man. I can't sing like that. I stay in my lane. But this is great. I don't recognize the voice." He said, "That's me, Dad."
No way.
And I was just blown away. He had started writing songs, and I think he had a girl that broke his heart, the whole thing. And then for Father's Day last year, my wife said, "We need to do a duet for Watching You." And I didn't even know what that was at the time.
On TikTok.
On TikTok.
A TikTok
yeah,
duet.
sorry,
Yeah.
TikTok, yeah. And so she said, and I've got an idea. I don't know if we can pull it off, but just sing, and then we're going to have people jump in and sing with you. And she turned around there within about 3 days. Eli had come in, and she said, "Eli, you have to do this. The number one comment that we're getting on TikTok from this is you need to duet with your son." So she sweet-talked him. She made him chicken casserole. She just kept on, and finally got him to just sing a chorus of it. And it was the craziest thing. I mean, it was like 12 million views. And so from that moment on, it was her again saying, "You guys got to do the whole version. You got to make it happen, the whole thing." And so just convincing Eli to take a chance and do it.
How's he felt about it since?
Yeah, I think he just had fun with it.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. He's only performed twice in his life, and one was his debut was at the Ryman here when I played a show. We came out, and then at CMA Fest at the stadium, he came out and sang it with me. So he's just kind of rolling with it. He's having fun. And
those are not traditional debuts.
No, and they're almost so big you can't take in what's happening around you. The Ryman, just the thought of that place makes me nervous more than probably anywhere else.
Do you remember the first time you played the Ryman?
Yeah, it was the Opry. And they asked me to sing a cover song. And I'll never forget asking my mom, pick a cover song, name something you want me to sing.
Oh, they just said, sing a cover.
Yeah,
that
cover.
was just like randomly sing a cover.
I don't know if I had a single out. It was like the first time I got to play there, just something to play with the band. And she told me, Behind Closed Doors, Charlie Rich. And I'm like, really? So my mom is like a sweet, pure, and she's want me to sing that. It was pretty funny. So my first time I sang Behind Closed Doors at the Ryman, and they got to come and see that show.
And your first Opry performance was at the Ryman as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of you got, you and your son.
That's true.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You still play the Opry at all?
Yeah. I'll jump in and play with them from time to time, and always makes you nervous. Always. It's an honor. It's not lost on me.
How many times have you played it? Do you know?
Oh man,
I got my 10 cup. You know, I don't know if did they give you a cup after you played 10? Was that a thing even 5 years ago?
Not that I'm aware of.
I walked off stage after my 10th Opry performance, and they gave me a cup with a number 10 on it. And I thought it was a joke. I didn't know that they gave people a number 10 cup on it.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, I mean, I have it. I guess I don't know the symbolism of a cup, or maybe.
I think it's just that it's the Opry, it's the Ryman, it's being a part of that historical.
And that's why I don't use the cup. I just let it sit. Just let it sit and make history. I don't even drink coffee.
That's funny.
Do you drink coffee?
Occasionally, not a lot.
Did you caffeine?
I used to do energy drinks like crazy, and I'm like, this is going to kill me. So I just kind of shut all that down, and just occasionally I'll have a cup of coffee.
If what?
If I get up and I'm still sleepy. Sometimes if I have a late show, I might have a cup of coffee at 4 or 5, just to kind of ramp up.
What made you move to Nashville?
Music. I wanted to be a songwriter, man.
Did you have confidence to, quote, move to Nashville? Or was it, I got nothing else right now, let's just give it a run?
I never looked at it like that there was a backup plan. It's just I wanted to write songs, just write songs. And so I was at Tennessee Tech in Cookeville, and I met some other dudes that wrote songs, and they said, you got to come play a writer's night with us. And I really didn't want to get up and sing in front of people, but they said, you can do it. Let's go.
So you had no intention really to be an artist. You wanted to write songs.
That was it.
Wow.
I had my deal when I prayed my prayer. I just want to make music that can touch people's lives, and I just want to write songs. That's it. Not get up and sing at all.
So you play the writers round.
Played the writers round. That next day was kind of a crazy story too. Played the Courtyard Cafe down south of town. And so my first night that I played, they put me up there with one other guy. It was just us playing songs back and forth. And he was just killing me. I'm like, oh my God, if this is what Nashville songwriters are, I am screwed. Because this he's out of control. And we exchanged numbers. And it was, Casey Beathard.
I do.
So Casey became songwriter of the decade, and we became friends. So that night, and I think it was because he was so great that I was just wrapped up in that, I got an opportunity to come take a meeting on Music Row with a publisher.
So you think someone saw that and associated you with his greatness? You think that they invited you, or that they thought you, I'm going to be putting words in your mouth here, just by what you just said. Do you think they thought you were better than you were because you were next to somebody who was really great?
I don't think, maybe. I mean, because he was so great, he made me seem better than I probably was, I'm sure. And we just got along. We had fun up there talking and just kind of being silly. So, yeah, I definitely think that had a lot to do with people coming up giving me cards to have a meeting.
They were so moved by the night.
I think so, yeah. And that's what Nashville
I think you're downplaying
writers
yourself a little bit because you've done that a few times already during the interview.
I don't know.
Okay. So tell me about the next day then. So you go to Music Row publishing meeting?
Yeah, I went to. Do you remember the UA Artist Tower that used to be there, kind of the round building? There's Loud Studios was there.
I don't.
It's next door to actually one of Curb Records buildings.
Okay.
And so the first time you're in Music Row, if you can go back to that, it is an insane place to go because of the one-way streets and then the two-way alleys. And so I was trying to figure out how to get to this UA Artist Tower. And had a guitar and a backpack, and I'm walking across one of those alleys, and a car came flying up and just bowed up, stopped about 3 inches from me, and I looked up, and it was Garth Brooks. I'm like, that guy almost killed me. And then I went, it's Garth Brooks. What planet am I on? And he was like, hey, buddy, sorry about that, man, all good. And so I walked across the street, across that alley, and went to the UA Tower. And because I was just a clobberhead carrying a guitar case, backpack, I went up to get the door, set my guitar case down, my backpack falls over, and a hand comes across me. So let me get that door for you, son.
Let me guess by the impression. Trace Atkins.
No.
Oh, okay, because that does kind of sound like Trace.
No.
Are you doing a good impression of him?
I don't think I can do an impression.
Okay, then never mind. Go ahead. Who is it?
But it was Merle Haggard.
Oh, that's probably a pretty good Merle Haggard impression too.
And so he said, let me get that door for you. And I'm like, so Merle Haggard opened my first door. I almost died.
Garth almost kills you.
And
Merle
then-
Haggard opens the door for you.
Yeah. And it was just, what planet am I on?
Yeah, it feels like a movie of what country music is like in the perfect fictional universe.
Exactly. And which that deal turned into kind of nothing, but it opened up this possibility of what it feels like to go take meetings and, dig in like that. And yeah, and plus, that's the other thing Nashville is so incredibly great about, because I met Casey Beathard and we became buddies after all that time. And I kind of fell in love with that about Nashville, playing the writers' nights. And it's the songwriter, just camaraderie that happens. It's an amazing thing.
When did you start to have confidence in singing publicly or doing anything publicly, considering you're a pretty shy person?
I think it clicked. It's still the same way now. I was asked if I would be willing to play some songs for tips at a bar in Cookeville. And they're like, you can play the original songs. And it doesn't have to be great. It'll be quiet, just something over here in the corner. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Why not? I want to write songs. That's what I want to do. I can try songs out. And as I was doing that, a couple songs that I'd written, and I can't remember them now, were kind of that sing-along thing. And the people would sing along with me after they heard it the first time. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm not going to be the guy that y'all sit there and I'm going to sing at you and you're just going to love this. It's, let's do this together. If I can have songs that people sing along with me, then it's not on me anymore. And we're all in this together. And I was just always drawn to more we songs instead of us against them kind of songs.
What about when you got to town, because you came as a writer, you did a writer's night. When did you think, I think I'll be an artist now as well?
Man,
because there's an intention.
It is. So the way that I got signed to my deal, a buddy of mine that we'd written some songs together named Ted Hewitt, Ted was offered a publishing deal with Curb. And he wanted me to go and play for the guy that he was working with named Chuck Howard. And Ted said, I want you to check my buddy out, man. He's got some great songs. You just got to hear it. And he's like, Curb does not need any more acts. They don't need any male acts at all. They had Tim McGraw and Jeff Carson, and I can't remember who else. Maybe a band, if you can put a band together. And Ted said, just let him play a song for you. So I did, and he stopped me halfway through and said, all right, I want to sign you.
What'd you play?
Just some tune we'd written. I think it was something called like God Only Knows or something. And I'm like, okay, cool. I got a publishing deal. He said, no, we want to sign you to the label. And I don't even know how that twisted around like that.
Wow.
And the next day, now my publishing deal took about 16 months. My record deal was done the next day. Mike, he recorded me in his little studio there. He took it to Mike Curb. Mike Curb called the next day, and my deal was done.
Why do you think that pace was different? Because you were a signed artist. They wanted you signed so they could get you working immediately? Like, why did one take so long on one, not?
Oh, the publishing deal, that's not a question for me. Publishing deals just take forever. I don't know why. The record deal was, I think, just pretty cut and dry. But that was 96. So I moved here in 95. And then that deal was done then. Then, God bless Curb Records, but it was 10 years later before I ever had a hit.
Did you feel like they shot you out of a cannon in 95 as far as like traveling around doing the, hey, I'm a new artist? Like the radio tour that used to happen type thing?
Yeah, I did a lot of radio tours. It was really, so what happened, I recorded some stuff with other producers there. And I was talking to, that's the crazy thing, I'm talking to Mike Curb weekly through all this. And he said, how do you feel about this music you recorded? And I recorded a whole album. And I said, I don't feel close to it. I feel like I'm just kind of grasping at something.
You would say that?
Yeah. I said, it just doesn't seem there yet. And he said, well, they had me with some other producers, some rock guys, some different people. And then finally a guy named Phil Gernhardt stepped in way back then. And he said, I'm going to do with you what I did with Tim McGraw. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And he seemed like a not real person. I just heard his name around there. And so he said, when Tim came here, he signed his first record deal and explained to me how he saw Tim at a showcase, maybe New Faces, CRS or something. And Tim just shined. He just came out, he sang Indian Outlaw. And he had done his first album that sold. I don't think it did much at all. And he said, but I took Tim in right then, told him to forget everything. I'm going to teach you how to record yourself, how to find your own sound, how to do every single thing. If you'll do it, it's going to be boot camp, and I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm like, well, if you're willing to dig into it, and talking with Mike Curb too, and it was Mike's right-hand guy. So all that time, what you're asking me, was really boot camp of, he would tell me stuff sucked. He's like, why did you send me this? This obviously is a scratch vocal, just brutal. But man, when he finally started tapping into something with the Going Through Hell album, he's like, this is it. This is different. This is not what I thought you would do, because these are life songs. These aren't love songs. But if you can have a hit with a song like If You're Going Through Hell, that'll be around forever. And so the whole time was just a lot of encouraging and sit and wait and believed. But I started recording at home back then too, and people didn't do that. But it was a lot of pick you up, knock you down for all those years, and for working on songwriting and figuring out.
Literally boot camp.
It was.
Like knock you down
for years,
but rebuild you back up.
I guess that's artist development is what you would call that. And I don't know if that happens a lot.
Like that now? No, that's go to HR. You get in trouble if you
True.
do that knocking down now. Yeah.
It was, I wouldn't trade it for anything, man. He was a true mentor. Mike Curb was right in the middle of that, man. What a great man he is.
How many songs did you put out as singles before Going Through Hell?
I think we put a couple of singles out.
And in between?
I did this album beforehand that we talked about, and it had, I think we released a couple of singles maybe on it. I'm not even sure, because they're just constantly trying stuff. It was probably 2 or 3 singles at least. Did
you start to lose hope that your artist career would thrive?
That's the crazy thing, man. I don't think I did. I think I just, this is what I'm doing. And I was working odd jobs, man. I'd work 3 and 4 jobs.
What kind of jobs?
One of them back then, so I was living in Cookville in Baxter, a little town outside of there. And in between, like I would cut firewood, for example, or mow yards, or do farm work or whatever I could do. And so I was cutting firewood, and I was asked to deliver it to some people in Nashville. So I would load my trailer, drive to Nashville, to Music Row, or to the Nashville area, deliver the firewood, go put my trailer somewhere, go write songs, go back and do it again. And one of my customers back then, I was asked to deliver firewood to Alan Jackson. And that was like in 2005. But Going Through Hell came out in 2006, and I'll never forget delivering that firewood to his big place out there. And then 3 months after Going Through Hell, 3 months after I delivered firewood to him, he asked me to open some shows for him. And it still kills me. He invited me on his bus to say hello, how much he loved what I was doing. And I got to thank him because we needed the money. So bad. And it was just like, this is not real. This is like a movie. Because it was. It was so hard, but occasionally people would pop up like that, and things would happen. Or like with Phil Gernhardt in A&R, just encouraging me. Little things would come up, so I never really quit believing that. Just do the right thing.
So others' belief in you at times kept your belief in you strong. Yeah, that's crazy about the Alan Jackson story.
And I think all that goes back to being a little adopted kid, and learning to trust what other people think of you a lot. That people that believe in you, I think beyond that, it kind of doesn't matter what people think of you. But fortunately, people that came in my path just encouraged me. And when Mike Curb's telling you that, it's like, okay, we can do this. If you think we can do it, we can do it.
When Going Through Hell comes out, you put it out, a lot of traction quickly, or was it a slow burner?
No, I think it was a pretty slow burn. It took a long time. I think it even, on the charts, would go up and die.
Wow, no way. Lose its arrow?
Go backwards, move forward again. I think the label did a whole lot of shifting stuff around, or I don't know what they did, but yeah, it was a long. I'm pretty sure it was like a 50-week kind of thing. It was
That's crazy, looking back, because now that everybody knows that song, and to think of the struggle that even that song had, that now is, I think, a song that people identify with. It was so big as a part of their life, like a time. There are certain songs I think of and reminds me of a time in my life.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those songs for a lot of people.
That's cool.
When that song hits top 10 or so, when did it kind of shift for you to where now you're that guy?
Man, I don't know if I ever thought I was that guy. I was getting to do that. It shifted pretty early when the demands, and you talk about radio tours, and I did so many of them. And I've heard people complain about that. I don't really get that. It was always, I don't have to do this, I get to do this. And I started hearing stories about going through hell. You asked me about stories earlier about watching you. I'll never forget when the song was in the top 10, and would that be MySpace or an email or something that I got back then? And a person said they wanted to thank me for the song, that they were I don't know if their wife left, they lost their job, they were at the bottom, they were in their pickup truck, and the song came on the radio, and they had a pistol in their hand. And they said, your song came on the radio, and I heard it, and it stopped me, and that pistol is at the bottom of the river now. And I started getting these messages about how that song was really touching people's lives. And with Phil Gernhardt, he's telling me, this is working, this is connecting, it's doing what you wanted it to do. Then the crazy thing after that is Phil even came to me. He didn't have kids, and he said, All right, so I think the second single, we're going to come with Watching You. He said, and I got to tell you, I don't really get it. It's not, I don't have kids. I can't relate, but Mike Curb is afraid somebody's going to hear that song, rewrite it some way, and beat us being able to get it out, because he said, I can't believe no one else has written that. And so that was just because of Mike didn't want to get beat. So it came out next.
I thought Cleaning This Gun was, you talk about a life song. That's a life song that parents, kids, daughters, girlfriends, boyfriends, like everybody kind of has a version of living that story.
And that song, man, I went out, the Cleaning This Gun, I just love the song. It's a Casey Beathard song, and Marla Cannon. But so that song, the demo, his work tape was pretty dark. It was slower. And I left town and just tried the song out in some little places. I mean, I played grocery stores, at Elks Lodges, little bars, flea markets, anywhere I could, just trying those songs out with the Going Through Hell. And one time I was down in Texas, and a guy had just had a baby daughter, and I said, I'm going to play a song for you. And I played it too fast, but he loved the song. And it kind of clicked that that's how it should be. And it's been amazing, people that have come up through the years with Clean This Gun and talk about how that's a very smart song. That's a intelligent redneck kind of song. But I was told too at the beginning that wouldn't work because it's kids and guns and people won't get that. It'll never work.
What's the story about These Are My People?
These Are My People, man. So I did not write These Are My People. Dave Berg, Rivers Rutherford. And I heard the song, loved it, and they said Steve Azar was cutting the song. And I'm like, oh, man, well, let me know if I can get it. And so I got with Dave Berg to get together and write songs. And I said, what you got, man? You got anything for me, any new songs? He said, I got one. Check this out. And he started playing These Are My People. Well, wait a minute. No, that's getting cut. I love that song, but it can't happen. He said it just came off hold. If you want it, it's yours. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Wow.
I believed in that song, just that it was a wee song.
Yeah, that one feels like a wee song that you were talking about earlier. Of all those songs, which one almost didn't make it and which one happened the fastest?
Happened the fastest.
Where it just wasn't a struggle. Not that it was easy, but great song.
I feel like Watching You probably, because I didn't write it. I just wrote it because my kid got in trouble for singing If You're Going Through Hell in pre-K one day. He got in trouble. He heard me working on the songs at home, trying to record, and he would just stay in the room with me, being quiet, think he's paying attention. The next day I went to pick him up from pre-K, and his teacher said, I got to talk to you about your boy. And I said, what happened? She said, we got this routine. I turn the lights on and off every day, and that's their signal to get in line and get quiet, then we go to lunch. And today, I started to walk, and then I heard it. Your boy's singing some song I've never heard before. He's in the lunch line. If you're going through hell, keep on going. And she just laughed about it, and I just thought my 4-year-old said a 4-letter word. And that was it. I got with a couple of guys, Steve Dean and Brian White, told them about it, had a chorus made up, and I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. It was just a cute song for my kid. And so at one point it kind of got no bounce back to even get to record it. The whole recording process, I think I recorded it 2 or 3 times because it just seemed too slow and I'd almost given up on it. Then with radio, it was very slow. But once it kicked in, man, that was an awesome ride.
It was a real life experience, though, that triggered that thought to write that song.
Yeah, oh, for sure. My 4-year-old said a 4-letter word. I wonder if there's a song in that. That's what I was thinking. And it was amazing when people, first time I was out playing, and people knew some of the words to If You're Going Through Hell, but that song, and it's still the same exact way today. I don't have to sing it. That's the dream, is for me to go on stage and just, I'm going to be the house band for all you guys to sing. And still today, hearing people sing, I've been watching you, Dad, that's the coolest thing in the world.
Did people, and they probably still do a bit, get you, Rodney, and Rhett, because your last names are very similar too, confused all the time?
For sure, yeah. With Rhett, even with Trace, people get that confused.
Trace, yeah.
And that's a crazy thing. When Mike Curb was, I'd talked to other publishers and somewhere there was other labels, and what I kept hearing was I had to change my name, even to be a songwriter. You got to change your name because there's Rhett over here and Trace over here. And Mike Curb asked me, what do you think about changing your name? It happens all the time in the music business. And I said, man, I just don't think I can. I'm lucky to have this last name. I shouldn't have this last name. I didn't have it when I was born, but I can't. I don't think I can do that. And he said, well, that's a good enough reason for me. And he said, and Curb Records is on Chet Atkins, whatever, Avenue or whatever it happens to be. He said, I think it's meant to be. We're not changing your name. And years later, people thought I did change my name, that I made it up.
Because it was similar. They thought you chased them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really great reason to not change your name.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Because you could have been Gator.
I could have been Gator. Might have been cool.
Could have been Gator Bones. That ain't even my real name. I'm stuck with Bones. It's not like a pirate.
It's awesome.
It sure sounds like a human.
I don't know, man. It is crazy the turns you take and what brought you here. And stuff that you don't think matters, but it all kind of matters, I guess.
Well, I hope everybody checks out Watching You 2.0 and visually check it out too. I would encourage that. I think hearing it's cool, but seeing, that's really cool.
Cool.
I think the visuals, all the content you guys did, it's like next level, sets it apart. So,
Thanks,
yeah, congratulations.
It's been fun.
Your wife, excellent writer. Like I don't know, I mean, she's great.
She's on another level. Some people get in a room and you write songs with. Casey Bethard was one of those guys. They see around corners. And like anything that I do, she's putting it together and we're writing those songs. And she writes with all these new guys. She prefers being around dudes than, I think, she doesn't write with many girls. And the stuff that she writes is like, I don't know how you get your head around that. She is a creative force. I think she's putting out some music on her own now.
Well, tell her I say hello.
Rose Falcon.
I'm a fan. And thanks for coming by. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having us, man.
Yeah, this has been super cool. Again, you guys check out Rodney Atkins on Instagram. It's just his name. And Watching You 2.0. If you go listen to the song, I encourage you to check out the visuals on it. Check out the video especially. Rodney, thanks, man. And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
This is an honor, man.